It's biological information. It's your nervous system saying something doesn't feel stable or safe right now. And in modern life, especially for women, busy moms, there's a lot that keeps the nervous system going and keeping it on edge. There's that chronic stress with no real recovery. There's hormonal shifts. There's poor sleep that compounds year after year, and depletion, poor sleep, and blood sugar swings, maybe inflammation as well that we don't even know about, and that constant stimulation. Now, your brain isn't broken. It's responding to signals from the body, which is why calm doesn't begin really in the mind. It begins in the body. Welcome to the Wellness That Fits podcast, where we help busy moms eat well, restore energy, and clear brain fog without sacrificing family time or your sanity. I'm Cassie Groeschl, registered dietitian and mom of 3. I believe wellness should fit your real life, not the other way around. If you're tired of complicated wellness trends and want simple, sustainable strategies for meal prep, holistic nutrition, and time-saving routines, you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Welcome back, and today I want to start with a moment that I feel like many women and moms recognize. So let me paint the picture for you. You're standing in the kitchen, staring at the counter. Maybe your kids are asking questions. Maybe your phone is buzzing. You are trying to respond to 4 different group texts and play date, scheduling, and a family member that is going through something serious. And maybe you're already thinking about what's next. Your heart feels a little fast. Your shoulders are tight. And you don't even realize, but you are barely breathing. Maybe it's small, short, tiny breaths. Nothing is really wrong, but everything feels like too much. So if that's familiar, I want you to hear this first. You're not failing at calm. Your nervous system is asking for support. Now, we've been told and taught that anxiety lives in the mind, that if we could just maybe think more positively or reframe our thoughts or calm down, things would get better. So we tried to outthink it. And when that didn't work, we blamed ourselves. But anxiety isn't a character flaw. It's biological information. It's your nervous system saying something doesn't feel stable or safe right now. And in modern life, especially for women, busy moms, there's a lot that keeps the nervous system going and keeping it on edge. There's that chronic stress with no real recovery. There's hormonal shifts after birth or during perimenopause or afterward. There's poor sleep that compounds over, kid after kid and year after year, and depletion, poor sleep, and blood sugar swings, maybe inflammation as well that we don't even know about, and that constant stimulation. Now, your brain isn't broken. It's responding to signals from the body, which is why calm doesn't begin really in the mind. It begins in the body. So when we shift from asking, what's wrong with me? Which, believe me, I've asked myself that a number of times. So when we shift from that to what does my nervous system need? Everything changes, because the anxious brain is not necessarily weak. It's just overstimulated and under-resourced or under-fueled, if you will. So let me give you a few examples of how small body-based supports can quietly reduce anxiety without forcing calm. Okay, so strategy 1, breathe before you eat. Gosh, you guys, this one is deceptively simple. It's so straightforward, but it's amazing. So before meals, especially when you're feeling rushed or stressed, which, by the way, is that not almost every single meal, especially with little kids and trying to get dinner on the table, if you can even eat together, right? Before events or other things going on in our lives. So before meals, take a few slow, deep breaths. I'm talking 3-4 deep breaths, and maybe tell your whole family to do this with you. And if you pray before meals, this is also a great time to do it, maybe before you pray or right after you pray. Why does it matter? Because when we eat in a stressed state, our blood sugar rises more sharply, and unstable blood sugar sends stress signals to the brain. So those signals can feel like anxiety, irritability, shakiness, maybe some brain fog or moodiness. So deep breathing before meals activates the parasympathetic nervous system, so the part responsible for rest and digest. It helps your body process food more smoothly, which reduces those spikes and crashes that can feed anxiety later. So please, guys, this isn't about perfection. It's about creating a moment of safety before nourishment. Research was on it where they looked at people who took a few deep breaths before a meal, and they looked at people who didn't. It was the exact same meal. What they found was that the blood sugar was lower in the people who did the deep breathing than the people who did not do the deep breathing and had the same exact meal. Wow, so easy, right? Taking a few deep breaths can really impact that part. Okay, here's another strategy. Strategy 2, feed the brain healthy fats. I'm all about nutrition and brain health, so let's get into it. Your brain is largely made of fat. So when we talk about mental health, fats matter a lot. Omega-3 fatty acids, especially from foods like salmon and other fatty fish, play a role in reducing inflammation, supporting brain cell communication, and regulating mood. So when omega-3s are low, the brain can become more reactive to stress. You can even have your blood levels checked for omega-3s or the markers for them. So this isn't about supplements or strict rules. It's about gently asking, am I giving my brain the building blocks it needs to stay resilient? And whether it be adding a loin or fillet of salmon once a week or a really quick package of tuna, and it doesn't even need to be a can, a package of tuna that you can maybe mix a packet of mayo or something on the go and have, just so that you're covering some of those high omega-3 fatty fish foods. Strategy 3, increase plant diversity. This is not about perfection, so understand that. You don't need a perfect diet. You do not need more restriction. I think so many moms and women are focused on these fad diets that continuously take things out. And you're looking at this tiny list of things that you actually can eat on this diet. And it's a little depressing and very hard to stick with. Oh my goodness. Science has shown us again and again and again, hundreds of thousands of participants and research paper shows us that a diet, Mediterranean style eating pattern, where people are getting plenty of whole grains and plant-based fibers and plant-based proteins through nuts and seeds, beans and lentils, produce, fruits and veggies, leads to less chronic disease. I could list all the chronic diseases. I won't, but for the most part, it's less heart disease, less cancer, especially specifically colon cancer when we're talking about plant diversity, and a host of other things, metabolic disorders, obesity, type 2 diabetes. So no more elimination. Please, please really think twice about who you are following or who you are listening to, and they're telling you a list of foods to eliminate. Now, of course, there are some people who do have dietary restrictions, and you should follow them. But please be aware that our diet should really be very diverse. And if you are a person who has been eliminating over years and years and years following fad diets, you may be depleting your body of nutrients, the nutrients that it needs to fend off anxiety and to improve your brain function. So one of the most supportive things for an anxious brain is a diverse gut microbiome. And the simplest way to support that, add a new plant to your grocery cart every week, whether you do grocery shopping in person or online. Make it a little game and just add one new produce item, plant item, whatever it might be. It doesn't need to be fresh produce, right? It could be frozen. It could be chickpea pasta. It could be beans. It could be lentils. It could be a nut or a seed. Add a new plant to your grocery cart every single week and find fun ways to use it. I can definitely help with that. So this isn't a complete overhaul. It's just like one new vegetable, fruit, herb, legume, or whole grain. I didn't mention whole grains. Of course, maybe adding a tricolor quinoa, something different, to your meal plan or something can really help make the difference. And why is this? Because, and I talked about this in a previous episode, but gut health and mental health are deeply connected. A more diverse gut helps regulate inflammation and it produces compounds. Again, the fiber episode, go back to it. I talk about the byproducts of fermenting bacteria. So, what bacteria, when they're eating the plant foods, they're fermenting it, they're turning it into a byproduct or a compound. And those compounds influence mood and stress tolerance. So, in general, small variety adds up. All right, strategy 4, rethink caffeine, don't eliminate it. I know for many women, anxiety isn't caused by caffeine, but it's amplified by it. If you are drinking, a pot of coffee, first of all, I mean, we could get into the science on coffee and how many cups are, recommended, but let's just say you're drinking 3, maybe more cups of coffee a day. Consider this gentle shift. Maybe aim for 1 or 2 cups of coffee and swap your remaining cup that you would normally drink for just 1 cup of green tea. So green tea contains L-theanine, which is a compound that promotes relaxation and focus. It influences brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine, which helps ease stress without like a sedation, right? So there's still caffeine in green tea, right? But a lot of people, especially if you're sensitive to caffeine, find that they don't get as anxious when they're drinking green tea because of that compound L-theanine, which again promotes relaxation and focus. Many women notice that they feel more steady, less jittery, and more clear-headed with this balance. Again, it's not restriction. And so again, if you are listening to the health gurus out there who are telling you to restrict a number of things, think about how we can actually fit this into your real life and make these small shifts, which will then support your brain health. Okay, so none of the strategies that I just talked about work because they quote unquote fix anxiety. They work because they reduce the signals telling your nervous system to stay on high alert. This is the heart of nutrition psychology, which I'm very interested in, or nourishing your gut-brain axis for brain health. So we're not chasing calm, right? We're just building the conditions to allow more calm into our lives. And so let's set those foundations, especially the nutrition foundations around creating that perfect environment for less stress or stress resilience and more calm. So this is through nourishment, through regulation, through understanding what the anxious brain actually needs. Nourishing the anxious brain is for women who are tired of coping, tired of just trying to push through, and ready to understand their anxiety instead of fighting it and not winning, right? Because maybe anxiety isn't asking to be silenced. It's maybe just asking to be supported. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Wellness That Fits podcast. I hope you walk away with simple, doable steps you can put into practice right away. If you love this episode, it would mean the world if you subscribed, left a review, or shared it with another busy mom who could use some encouragement. Until next time, friends, keep creating wellness that fits your life.